In this video, we're going to take a keyboard thought out run and then sketch it to string groups. We're not going to use full strings because we're going to take this run and we're going to create a couple of variations with the stereo field changing drastically, which is not really possible with full string ensembles because you have so much overlap. So we'll just take A major and D minor and alternate between those two, and we'll just use like a melodic minor kind of shape. We'll just keep it as simple as that. So I'm going to spend a little minute coming up with our rising run. Maybe take the 5 chord, put it in first inversion. So there's some kind of pattern we can use. I'm trying to think of the 1 chord now. Okay, there we go. We'd have to be able to repeat like that. Now it just repeats the same pattern. This sequential pattern can keep rising if you want it to. So something like this, the stereo field is going to be much more apparent going in this direction when you don't use a full string set because there's not a whole ton of overlap of groups. Just so I have a reference. Again, our goal first is just kind of go this way. We're going to create some variations that don't go that way as well near the end, because the ability to create variations on something is super important. So here's where knowing your ranges is really important. I could take this first little clip here from the piano thing, copy it directly to violas. I know this is going to be in their range. The low end part, first you might make this spiccato or something because it'll sound better in notation. Now I might take the low end and just look at it and look at the general ranges. Well, this is actually an easy solution because I know I can copy it just to the cellos and basses and just eliminate the top and bottom note. I know that's going to be in range of the basses, for instance. Remember, basses sound an octave lower than what's written. So we could actually leave this as is, just eliminating top and bottom notes, if you know your ranges well. So our first bar is done, actually. So what I'll do is just copy this violas line, playing the run, put it in the violins too. This is an easy solution. Now I'll transpose it up an octave. Now, borrowing from our piano part again, our sketch, we'll just go ahead and take that and we'll copy it into the violas and cellos. Bottom note removed. I know it's in range for both of these. Top note removed in the cellos. This is actually a super simple solution. But the stereo field's going to be much wider apparent not using full strings doing this. And the basses will end on the first note, an octave lower than the cellos. And we'll actually keep this scheme up through the whole thing. We could go ahead and take this top part, put it into the violins 1, this bottom part, violins 2 and violas. And our scheme's almost done. Remove the top note from violas. Pretty simple solution. The bottom note from violins too. I mean, this is just problem solving and coming up with a solution. So we'll go ahead and end the cellos exactly like the basses did. For playback reasons, you might want to make these staccato marks, which mean probably spiccato at this point. And what we get is a gradual change from right to left. So I'm not really going to fill out rests or anything because we want to come up with a variation. Treat these as composition exercises. And the ability to come up with variations is super important. So make variations. Maybe you want a pedal point, so you have to solve how this is presented. Unison to a division, back to a unison on a pedal point, stuff like this. This becomes very fun stuff to do. Run becomes divided, etc. And then at the end, unison lines become octaves in the violins. And you could do stuff like triple stops and whatnot, just messing around with them for an ending part. So I stopped it, and what I did was put these on different staves because we're going to do something interesting here now. We're going to mix some articulations. Short articulations with some Piz for some interesting effect. We're figuring out various ways to present this basic run. Throwing that Piz in there with the short notes is actually an interesting effect. Again, stopping it, I made another variation. What I wanted to do this time is start kind of in this area with a pedal point, then jump to that side, then jump to the left side. Almost middle, right, left. And all the runs are in octaves now, octave displacement. So now everybody's got a little interesting role to play here. And then changed it up a little bit. It's not exactly the same as the original run, but it's a variation of it. So meaning just instead of rising, it changed to a completely different group. Higher, lower, much higher. Creating a stereo field effect that is actually much more interesting than it would be if you use a full ensemble patch like full strings. The better you get at creating variations on a single easy part, the more you're able to use these things within the context of music. And it's also just quite fun to figure out how you can present something in many different ways. Starting with just a simple scratch pad, you can see there's going to be a ton of options just for that. One of the best things you can possibly do is to create sketches of the same thing presented in various different ways. Because you're also teaching yourself problem-solving skills, which are important. Instead of somebody always giving you the answer, try to develop your own problem-solving skills.